I didn't plan on making all of these changes, but my body forced me to listen. And honestly, this isn't a video I thought I'd ever make for YouTube. Over the last couple of years, I've started noticing things I couldn't ignore anymore. I was gaining weight. I had brain fog. My energy was lower than it had ever been. I was struggling with sleep. I was having hot flashes. And even hiking in the heat was starting to feel way harder than it had ever felt before. A year ago in October of 2024, I'd come back home from my backpacking season and my doctor officially diagnosed me with perimenopause. Then, this year in October 2025, after coming back home from my backpacking season, my blood work came back showing that I was pre-diabetic. That was the moment I realized I couldn't keep living or training like the way I had always been. I had to make some serious changes. I've kept all of this pretty quiet here on my YouTube channel, but I'm finally ready to talk about it now. Because I know that I'm not the only woman out there who's going through this. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Kathleen, a food-motivated hiker, solo backpacker, backpacking coach for women, and the hungry hiker here on YouTube. I want to explain why I haven't talked about this sooner here on my channel. It wasn't because I was embarrassed, and it wasn't because I was trying to hide anything. It was because I didn't understand what was happening to my own body yet. And I didn't want to come here on YouTube and talk about something I hadn't fully processed myself. This channel has always been about confidence, about capability, about helping women feel strong and prepared for the adventures they want to do. You might have noticed in some of my recent videos that some sort of change has been happening behind the scenes. I talked about how I'd been struggling through the winter and wanted to make it a priority to keep moving during the colder months this year. I shared with you about the 6-week challenge I started at my gym and showed you what my training for the off-season has been looking like so far this winter. I even shared with you how I started meal planning and showed you everything I've been eating throughout the week while training for backpacking in the off-season. I even finally came clean and shared with you just how old I am. A lot of you never realized I was well into my 40s. 49 to be exact. But for the last couple of years, I felt like I was losing connection with my own body, questioning my own confidence, capability, and wondered if I'd ever feel strong enough to continue doing the outdoor adventures I love doing. So instead of forcing myself to create content and talk about things I didn't know, I chose to focus the energy and attention on myself and listen to my own body. And that turned out to be one of the most important decisions I've made so far in my health journey. For most of my life, if something felt hard, I pushed harder. That's how I trained. That's how I hiked. That's how I lived. I'm a very goal-oriented person. I love setting goals for myself and then working to achieve whatever goals I've set for myself. I love checking things off of my to-do list. But all of these changes that were happening in my body stopped responding to all of that effort. The goals I had been setting for myself were getting a whole lot harder to achieve. No matter how active I was, my body felt heavier. Hiking with a loaded pack became harder. Sleep has always been my superpower. I could sleep anywhere and through anything. Then over the last couple of years, no matter how much I slept, I still felt tired. My brain felt foggy. My motivation was there, but my energy wasn't. Back in July 2024, during my solo Sierra backpacking trip, the heat hit me differently. Not in a this is uncomfortable kind of way, but in something is off kind of way. That was new for me, especially as someone who has spent a lot of time hiking in the desert. And it scared me because hiking and backpacking has always been the space where I feel the most capable and the best and strongest version of myself. Getting officially diagnosed with perimenopause by my doctor last year really started to put language to what I was experiencing in my body. But the blood work a year later, that really stopped me in my tracks. Being told I was pre-diabetic forced me to stop and zoom out. I realized I was still eating like a thru hiker, like someone training for constant output. But my body was no longer in that phase of life. I hadn't been a thru hiker in 7+ years. I wasn't hiking 15 to 20 miles each day. And when I was in town and not hiking, I barely walked a mile throughout the day. The truth is, I never had great nutrition role models growing up. I didn't know how to eat for health, for longevity, for hormones. I only knew how to fuel and eat for effort. And that wasn't enough anymore. That's when it clicked for me. I couldn't hike or train myself out of an unhealthy diet. In the fall of this year, I started craving having some sort of routine. Not discipline, not restriction, Just a routine made up of healthy habits like going to the gym, going on a weekly training hike, eating healthy and whole foods, and drinking water throughout the day. I wanted to instill daily habits that supported me and the health goals I wanted to achieve. I read this really awesome book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, a few times, and it helped me start to see something clearly. I didn't need to try harder. I needed to live differently. I wasn't trying to be smaller. I was trying to live a longer, happier, healthier life. I wanted to feel strong. I wanted my energy back. I wanted to develop a healthy relationship with my body instead of fighting with it. And the last few winters have been really hard on me. I struggle with the darkness, the cold, the lack of movement, the lack of motivation to get outside. Every spring, I felt like I was starting all over again from zero, rebuilding my fitness and rebuilding my strength. I didn't want to do that anymore. So instead of struggling through winter again this year, I wanted to get a head start on my training for the backpacking season by instilling healthy habits now. This meant getting into the habit of going to the gym, going to yoga, taking myself on weekly training hikes, preparing healthy meals with whole foods for the week, and aiming to walk 10,000 steps each day before the snow started to fly. I figured the sooner I could develop healthy habits and get myself into a solid routine before winter started, the less likely I would be to try and talk myself out of completing my healthy habits by the time winter showed up. I wanted this winter to be different so that future me would feel supported instead of exhausted. When I came back home to Missoula after finishing my backpacking season in October of this year, my gym was hosting a 6-week fitness and nutrition challenge. And honestly, signing up for this challenge changed everything for me. Not because it was extreme, but because it was structured. Here was a perfect opportunity to put together a sustainable routine and develop some healthy habits. Working with a nutritionist during the challenge helped me learn how to eat for this phase of my life. I learned about macros and figured out how many calories, how much protein, how much fat, and how much water I should aim to eat and drink each day in order to meet my health goals. As someone who enjoys spending time in my kitchen, I even picked up a few new recipes and started prepping my meals for the week at home so I always had something easy and healthy to eat. Working with a trainer throughout the challenge helped me stay consistent with my workouts. And even now that I've completed the challenge, my daily movement continues to be consistent. I've been strength training a few times each week, along with taking myself on weekly training hikes, going to yoga a couple times a week, and walking at least 10,000 steps each day. And for the first time in a long time, I finally feel like I'm now working with my body instead of against it. Nothing about my health journey has been perfect, but it has been sustainable, and that matters to me more than anything. So why am I sharing all this with you now? I'm sharing this now because I know many of you out there are probably going through something similar. You love adventure, you love being outside, but your body feels different. And you might be wondering if this is the beginning of the end. Well, guess what? It's not. It doesn't have to be. You're not broken. I'm not broken. We're evolving, and this phase of life doesn't mean less adventure. It just requires more intention. Trust me, I have a ton of adventures planned for 2026, and I want my body to not only be able to keep up, but to also be able to enjoy myself while I'm out there. Everything I teach inside the Confident Solo Female Backpacker system is about feeling strong, capable, and confident, not just when we're out on trail, but also in our own bodies. If you want to feel strong and confident this year, click the link below to learn more about how you can join this program. And if this video resonated with you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I see you, and I'm really glad you're here. If you like this video and got some value out of it, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for new videos each week and hit the bell icon to get notified each time new videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy trails and keep on trucking.